Welcome back to Newsmax Now. There are just 23 days left in the year. That's right. Hard to believe. But as impeachment drags on into 2020, there's a new poll that shows impeachment is dragging down the poll numbers of Democrats, including former Vice President Joe Biden. Here to talk about that is pollster Chris Wilson. He's the CEO of WPAi Intelligence. Welcome, Chris. Great to see you.
Great. Thanks for having me.
All right. So this new poll from a group called Firehouse Strategies released over the weekend shows President Trump polling ahead of Joe Biden in key battleground states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And when you see back what was looking like in March, Joe Biden actually enjoyed a pretty comfortable lead. Is impeachment the number one factor dragging Biden down in these battleground states?
Well, I think impeachment is certainly the number one factor that is elevating President Trump over the Democrat rivals. It's not just, Biden's got his own issues, and it seems like every time he opens his mouth, he's just a walking gaffe machine. So I hate to equate the two. Biden is bringing himself down at the same time that President Trump is rising. But you can look at not just in the Firehouse poll, which is an excellent poll because it's actually done off of modeled 2020 voters. That's the way that we do our polling, so I may be a bit biased in that. But typical media polling or university polling is done just off of adults or registered voters and not about people who are actually going to cast a vote in the election. That's what I like about these Firehouse numbers. But even if you look at some of the 2020 polling that's been put out, let's look at Wisconsin by Marquette, which is based there, you see that opposition to impeachment has more than doubled since the hearings began. So this clown show the Democrats continue to push on in their rush to impeachment is really having an impact not just on their own party and their 31 Democrat members of Congress that are trying to run for re-election in what's going to become an uphill battle in seats that the president won, but it is elevating the president's standing with swing voters. And I think it's having the exact opposite effect that any of them wanted when it began. But that's what happens when you listen to the far left extreme of the party. At this point, the only people who really want this are the squad and Nancy Pelosi. And I'm not even sure that she does anymore.
Unintended consequences. Okay, the last 30 seconds we have left with you. You actually think the House is in play now for Republicans?
I do, and I do because it is, again, there are 31 seats that President Trump won in 2016 that Democrats now have. And what the impact of the impeachment hearings has done is if you look at in fact, Brad Parscale has been tweeting out numbers from these districts where they've done their own polling, and American Action Network put some out today. And in case after case, you see opposition to impeachment more than double support. And that really puts these members in vulnerability. And, Republicans did this. We did this to ourselves in 1998 when we impeached President Clinton, and it almost cost us the House in a midterm election. I think that's what the Democrats are going to find here, but it's a presidential year election, so they're already running uphill.
Short memories in Washington, D.C. You think they might have learned something from 1998. Right. Chris, great to see you as always. Chris Wilson, pollster, CEO of WPAi Intelligence. We'll be right back.